Welcome, LifeOn10 audience. This is Angela, one of your LifeOn10 co-hosts. I'm missing my co-host, Dr. Vanessa Walker, because she is out there doing what she does best, and that's taking care of our community. Speaking of Dr. Walker, my lovely co-host, this LifeOn10 episode is in response to her freak out she posted yesterday, which has become very, very popular on our YouTube channel. So my response to my lovely co-host is this. First, I want to acknowledge everything that you are doing and everything that all of our first responders are doing to take care of our community. And when I think of first responders, of course, I think of the physicians, nurses, everyone in the hospital, the cleaning crew, everyone that's keeping us afloat. And I also think of our service industry, our cashiers that are in places like Target and other venues, making sure that we are capable of doing life the best that we can. So shout out to everyone. Now, Vanessa, your story is probably not something that only you are experiencing in terms of your frustration and indignation about how some people are responding to this pandemic. I want to acknowledge your right to be frustrated, to be angry. I could never imagine what it's like for you to put your life at risk every day when you walk into that hospital. I am never going to be able to imagine that. And again, I thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. My invite to you and to all those that supported you in those comments was a lot. My invitation, my loving invitation is if you would be willing to entertain the thought that you really don't know where the person in Target was coming from in terms of the information that she has, because we are all getting very different information in terms of how she herself is dealing with this. There's so many different stories that we could apply to that person. We could make a lot of different assumptions. We do it all the time. We judge, we make assumptions all the time. So when we do this, my question is, are we really being fair to that person? And yes, you are entitled to being angry with what you're seeing, and at the same time, we don't know what's behind her story. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. A week ago, I was in Woodland with a friend of mine, and we were standing outside of a restaurant who was very responsible in terms of they had everything was closed except for the window, all the employees were masked up. We were standing in the line just to pick up food in the parking lot. So it's a big open air, nothing closed in. We're not in a store or anything. We're outside. We're standing 6 feet, our social distancing, from the other person in line. So my colleague and I are standing in line waiting for our food, distance appropriate, and a woman starts to admonish us about not having on masks. And she's yelling at us, I believe saying things like, it's because of people like you that this state isn't going to be able to open. So I was on the other end of someone judging me, being very angry with me, because they felt that I was not being respectful of the seriousness of the crisis that we were in. There was a lot of judging going on there. I took a breath And trust me, I had to breathe very deeply for this. I took a breath, created that space that I encourage us to create, and my response to her was, I appreciate your passion. I appreciate your passion. Now, initially, I wanted to really say some not so nice words to her. But when I took that breath, I created that space, and what that did is it gave me the time to move from here to here, and say to myself, this woman is in fear. She's super concerned about contracting this. I understand it. Taking that breath, creating that space allowed me time, get what I'm saying, to move from my head, my own fears, to my heart, and have compassion from where she was coming from. So, my challenge to you, my lovely co-host, Dr. Walker, with all love and amazing respect for you, as taking that time, that moment, that breath, it allows us to catch ourselves from reacting and gives us an opportunity to respond. I want to say this one more time. Everyone has a right to respond to this crisis the way they feel that is in their what I want to say is in their strength, is in their capabilities to respond to this. Also, remember that we are all getting very different information, and the information changes daily. Back to my Woodland story. So once I got home, my colleague called me and she said to me, "Oh, I understand why that lady was so upset. Earlier that morning, Woodland had initiated an order that no matter where you are, inside or outside in the open air, you must wear a face mask." We did not hear that information. We did not know that information. You see, two things happened there. The lady made an assumption that we had that information at hand and we were just defying the order. It wasn't true. I hope my story speaks to what I'm saying. Let us be ever more gentle with each other and cautious around how we perceive and interpret each other's response to what is going on. This is the time that we must delve deep and hard. And yes, we want to be angry. My question is, does that help the situation? I'm asking a lot of you, I know. I'm asking you to go beyond your normal, natural human reaction to when you see something that you totally disagree with and makes you so very angry and you're so sure that you have a right to be angry. I'm asking you to take the challenge by taking that breath and allowing yourself to see the possibility that there is more than one story behind the person's actions. Go deep, go wide, be safe, be well. YouTubers. We'll be back because we are not going to load episode 3, part 3 on compassion because of what's going on right now. Our next episode on May 10th is going to address depression, which is ever more important during this time of physical distancing. Be well, be safe. Let's be heroes to each other.